So, topic for today is going to be one that I really enjoy. Hello, Crystal. And it's drawing from imagination. So, just to readjust this so I have a bit more room. And still a little bit rickety. There we go. Focus. So drawing from imagination is arguably probably the easiest thing you can do, because it's your imagination, right? No one can tell you that you're right or wrong. And it's similar to improvisation with music, right? If you improvise with music, you're using what? Your imagination. It's like a conversation. You don't pre-plan a conversation with someone. And it's the same thing with using your imagination. I have no... Oh, now I do. But when I first started the sketch, I didn't really have a direction. But now, I do. I've put a little bit of something on the paper, and to me, it kind of looks like a bird's beak. So I'm going to turn it into somewhat of a bird. I'm not using any reference. The only thing I'm going to use is my imagination. And a lot of the time, the drawing will unveil itself. I won't need to do all that much. You can't just fill in the lines of what you've already put down. And it should be one of the easier things that you do, because you don't have to think. It's your imagination. Let it flow free. Don't be so rigid. Right? Like I was saying before, it's like music. When you improvise with music, you're not thinking. It should be an easy thing. It should be you letting go of the rules and regulations. It's the same thing with drawing with your imagination. I could give this thing 8 arms, or I could give it 12 legs, you know? Whatever your heart desires. But there's always going to be a little bit of a mental barrier. Right? And you just gotta draw a cookie. No. Maybe next time. Right now I'm kind of liking this bird. I don't know, he might be eating a cookie, who knows. But what else? Oh no. How about you draw a cookie? I reckon you'd do well. Because it's your imagination. You're eating a cook? I hope not. I hope that cook is alright. How did the apron taste? You know what, I'm gonna give this guy like humanoid arms. I'm not gonna give him like wings. Like I might give him wings, but since this video is about imagination, we're gonna explore a little bit more. So I'm still gonna give him like feathery-ish arms, but they're gonna be more human than bird. And give him legs as well. So he's kind of like mutated so when it comes to using your imagination for drawing, I think less is more. You know, you don't have to draw exactly what you're thinking, because a lot of the times what you put on paper doesn't really match what your brain wants to put on paper. Sometimes it does, sometimes you get it and you're like, yes, that's exactly what I was imagining. And it's a very satisfying feeling. But a lot of times your brain and body are a bit disconnected. And that's totally normal. Like, you shouldn't put too much pressure on yourself to replicate exactly what you're thinking. And a lot of times when you just go with what the marks on the paper have set out for you, then you'll end up with something better than what you were imagining a lot of the times. A lot of the times you surprise yourself and be like, instead of, oh, this isn't what I was imagination, and then, you know, tear it off or flip to a new page, you just roll with it for a little bit, spend, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes getting into it, and then you're like, whoa, that's actually not what I was imagining, but I still like it, if not better than what I was imagining. That happens too. And it's not right or wrong, it's just part of the process. Now, for his hands, I've been thinking a little bit, and I think I want him to be holding something. I think I want him to hold a staff. Now, I know that whole spiel is about just going with the flow, but sometimes you just gotta put down on the paper what you want. And right now, I want him to hold a staff. He's almost holding it into the air like he's casting a spell. And like, the cool thing about drawing creatures, especially, is it's a creature. It doesn't exist in this reality, meaning the physics of whatever, how it grows, or how organisms live, what it eats, you know, what the beak looks like, it shouldn't replicate exactly how reality is, right? Because it's not exactly from reality. So you're allowed to make it look wacky. If you did something, you're like, oh no, its head's wrong. Oh no, its foot's too big. That's okay. Like, don't overthink shit. Just kind of get into it. Because the more time you spend thinking about what you've done wrong, the less time you're actually working on the project. I'm not too sure if I want this to be a wizard staff or like a battling staff. You know what I mean? So I might come back to it in a little bit and work on his lower portion of his body. Give him a nice, stable back with some nice, strong legs. Lift it up a little bit so I have a bit of room. Because, once again, I still have not figured out a comfortable way to record. I know it's been a fair few sessions, and there is a setup that I've been thinking about, but I just have yet to acquire the right equipment. But that is just me procrastinating the process. probably get it done. And look, it still looks fine, I think. With the way I'm doing it, it's just not the most comfortable for long sessions. So I'm still going to be doing about half an hour-ish sessions so I don't end up injuring myself from... Because I'm a little hunched over when drawing in this position, so I don't want to be doing it for too long. Otherwise, yes. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell your friends. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Man, I wish YouTube let you put music on in the background of your videos. It'd be so much more of a vibe. Drake is back? No, anyone but Drake. No, I don't know. I don't listen to his music. Thank you, Diomir. Diomir? I don't know how you pronounce that name, but it's a cool name. If you have any questions, feel free to send them my way. I will answer them with as much honesty and integrity at my skill level as I can. I can't give you the most crazy advice, but I can give you some advice. So I think he's gonna be in motion, like he's leading a charge or something. Could even turn this into a flag. So I think his leg's gonna be out of frame, but that's okay. Yeah, wizard stuff, I've decided. Oh yeah. Still haven't really decided what I'm going to do for his legs. Am I going to give him wings? He's a bird. Oh. I might just go over the highlight of this thing. That's another thing I like to do. Is when I'm in doubt of what I want to put on the character or put into the thing I'm drawing, is just work on what needs to be worked on and decide while doing that. Because, you know, going over the outline of this stuff is kind of brainless. You know, I don't need to think about the shape of it because it's already down. I'm just adding a bit more depth to it so I can decide while I'm doing it. think I'll work on this one for another 10, 15. Because he's essentially almost done. Like, as in the frame of him. Okay, I'm not sure what the character's name on Ginger is quite yet. And, the cool thing about fur is you can kind of get away with bad anatomy. I mean, it still has to be like proportionally not correct, but proportionally satisfying. But it doesn't really have to be good. Like, I know this is gonna be covered with fur, so I just have to do like the depths of his stomach and stuff a little, like shade that. But yeah, you can kind of be pretty loose with your anatomy skills when you're doing creatures. Don't have to be very accurate, especially if they're fur or whatnot. Not to say that you shouldn't do anatomy, but especially when you're drawing from imagination, that's not the most important thing in the world. Like, I didn't even have to draw a creature today to draw from imagination. There's a bunch of other stuff that I'll flick to. That is, yeah, like this, right? You can also do stuff like that. And still call it drawing from imagination. It doesn't have to be realistic. I'll give them another 5. Because I'm pretty satisfied with what I've put on paper. I'll probably work on it, get it a bit more crisp, but isn't necessary. Maybe. This took me 20 minutes to put on the paper. You can get stuff that is pretty rough, but almost like the full concept pretty quickly. Like, if you set aside 10 minutes, you can probably do 10 thumbnails, if not more, in those 10 minutes. You don't need a lot of time. And I didn't even do this one from any reference or thumbnail. And, I mean, like anything else, the more you spend on it, the better it'll be. But as long as I keep this section more rendered, then, I mean, this is kind of, the base is there, but it's not like detailed. You can kind of get the idea if there's legs a little bent. But yeah, as long as you keep some of it rendered, then you can come back to it, or if someone sees it, they're going to get an idea of what's going on. If you want an easy way to be consistent with your shading, always do it from top down. Like, you don't have to be super fancy with your lighting. Just keep it the same each time. Keep it from a top down point of view. I messed up a little bit here. I don't know if you can see. There's a little bit of a tag coming out, but you live and you learn. You move on. So we're coming to the finishing mark. If you enjoyed it, show me some love. Let me know if you drew along. Probably won't give this one too much more time. I might come back to it another day. But I'm pretty happy with what I've put on the paper for now, without any reference or anything, because this one was about your imagination. And I mean, you can draw from references and use your imagination. That's totally cool. There's no rules. But yeah, a lot of it is just putting the reps in, putting the time in. You know, if you can do it every day, that's even better. Everyone has 10 minutes, even if you're super busy. I'm sure you can find 10 minutes to sit down and, you know, just sketch get a scrap piece of paper, or do it in your study book, or, you know, find some time, find a bit of space to clear your head. Yeah, I might finish there. Essentially halfway done, but I mean, you can work on this for as long as you want. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, hope you had some sort of revelation. And until next time.